So where I am professionally and sort of personally on this spectrum of content is I fundamentally believe that brands, largely consumer brands, and maybe some B2B brands, have an opportunity to capture people's attention in ways that they've never done before and start to think of themselves more like production studios or content studios than just a brand. Obviously, you've heard about, everyone will say, oh, a brand like Red Bull is really, sort of defining this content and doing things that are really different. And yes, Red Bull is definitely responsible for thinking of themselves as not just a CPG brand, but I think that as the accessibility to content becomes ubiquitous and there aren't just a few players anymore and there are more major players that are getting into original content, I think what this does for brands is give them an opportunity to tell stories that align with their products, that aren't necessarily about their products, that just really align with philosophy or thinking, but it also captures a consumer's attention and is very forthright about being from that brand. And I think the idea that you need to sort of hide your product in content or do something that feels very much like you're trying to sell a product, I think that there is a time and a place for that, but I fundamentally believe that if brands start to do things more emotionally that are in this kind of 5 to 7 minute long realm, and they do things that really work for both their brand philosophies and a consumer's interest, I think that we'll start to see some really rich and compelling stories come out. And there's lots of examples of brands that are doing this, doing it well, and I'm very optimistic that they can start to leverage some of their marketing power and siphon off some of the money to start to put it to work to just make people feel good about that brand in a very different way.